We are thrilled to have on the Endless Hustle today stars of the Netflix NASCAR comedy series, The Crew, Kevin James and Freddie Stroma. Thank you for talking to us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Let's jump right into it. Freddie, the first one is for you. I know Kevin is a big NASCAR fan, but coming from England, the land of the prim and proper, I'd have to imagine that there's a little more learning curve about how rabid this country is about NASCAR. How has that education been for you, and how did you prepare for this role?
Yeah, so like growing up in the 90s and early 2000s in the UK, we didn't really have much in the form of NASCAR. So I didn't know that much. I knew kind of what the average European would know, and I'd seen Talladega Nights, but yeah, I kind of just learned along the way. Just looked up some clips and slowly realized, like, wow, these guys are insane. This is so dangerous and so incredible and difficult, like really difficult. We went on those simulators and it is not easy. Like, you realize that these guys are really well trained.
Kevin, for you have been a longtime NASCAR fan.
Hold on one second, Arthur. Hold on 1 second. Freddie, you're British?
I thought that was Minnesota.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're a longtime NASCAR fan, man. How do you get these incredible drivers to be part of the show? How many favors are you calling in?
Let me take some. I grew up on Long Island. I am not a longtime NASCAR fan. When I was a kid, and I don't know if was NASCAR on like Wide World of Sports or something like that back then in the day. I remember I was a huge Richard Petty fan, and I would draw number 43, draw the car all the time. I knew the mustache, the glasses, the cowboy hat, and I loved him. And I don't know where that love came from, because I don't really remember. I remember that and STP, the company. And then I've been a part, you grew up on Long Island, you don't know, baseball, football, all those sports. But I fell back into NASCAR when a couple of years back when I did I was the grand marshal at a race, and I was promoting a movie, and I did Gentlemen Start Your Engines. And it's insane. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it, what it's like there. It's like from the pit crews to the infield where they had the tailgate, the parties and going on, and the crowd and it's just, I had no idea. So the reason I wanted to do this show was because NASCAR was really involved. NASCAR, if it wasn't NASCAR and it was going to be NASCAR-like, I didn't want to do it. So with NASCAR, that's how we get everybody. Ryan Blaney, we've gotten, Cole Custer, Austin Dillon, and it's amazing. And these guys are incredible. It pisses me off how funny they are, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Especially Brian Blaney. It annoys me. He shouldn't be that good at comedy.
Kevin, in 2010, I think it's the one you're talking about with Sandler. It's voted one of the most memorable NASCAR commands in history in front of 60,000 fans. How jacked up were you at that moment? Because you were like I watched it on YouTube earlier today. You were like jumping up and down, and you looked either nervous or energy, or you just looked straight up jacked up.
All the above. Plus I was probably about 35 Pepsis in. So it's like, yeah, you just get crazy there. And I'd never done it before. I think I did, so every time I go into it, you're so pumped up. You got the military, you got everything, like, it's a massive thing. And if they don't feel your enthusiasm at these, they're going to let you know. So, no, I laid into it. Shaq was in on one with us too. He did one, right? Was it that one with Shaq?
This one was just you and Sandler. The one you did in 2007, I think, was with Shaq. And
okay,
you were promoting Grown Ups, I think, in 2010.
Yeah, we're promoting these movies. And that's when I knew about it. So it's just insanity. It's just a lot of fun.
Freddie, how cool was it to get behind the wheel of one of these beasts and learn to do this?
Unfortunately, we didn't get to like drive them. We, I got to get in the car, do the green screen stuff, which was fun. We were supposed to go to Richmond and do some shooting there, but COVID happened, so that got canceled. But the closest I got was getting in one of those simulators, and they, it's tricky. I mean, I can drive stick, but that's like, it's a whole other level.
Not about what you got to an accident the first week driving it, right? You remember on set?
Oh yeah, that was that day one
under the bus, Kevin.
Like day one of production, I got rear-ended by
our star driver, though, coming to the set, actually got into an accident first day, right?
Yeah, Kevin, no, I was driving back from the first day of production. The guy rear-ended me at like 40 miles an hour. Just smacked the back end of the car. Crazy. It was pretty bad.
Kevin bringing the bus right on you, Freddie. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a champ because we had to shoot. I remember we had to get back to business, and you were ready. You were pretty banged up, I remember, but you.
Yeah, it's a little whiplash and stuff, but
The airbags go off?
No, it didn't. So my head hit the steering wheel, and I had like a little sort of bruise and a little graze. My leg was a little injured, and I had a little whiplash for a few days, but it was all right. Got through it.
Kevin, obviously you were a wrestler growing up, and you got to wrestle with a man who ended up becoming one of the great WWE icons of all time, Mick Foley, and you got to take him down. I read an interview where I took him down a ton. Did you have any idea that Mick Foley would become Mick Foley?
No, he was the greatest guy. I mean, I was a running back. I was not a wrestler. I never wrestled, but they needed another heavyweight. Mick was a heavyweight, and they needed another heavyweight. And I was an athletic kid, and I was strong. So I had a couple, I learned a double leg takedown, and that was all I knew. I could take Mick down, do that. But as he got better and better, he's just a crazy, he was jumping off the roof of his house, into boxes. I remember this all the time. And the sweetest kid. His personality didn't fit what he was doing. Like, he was just such a nice guy. His father was like the director of physical education. Like, it was just an amazing family, and it was just a crazy journey he took, man. But he's a good dude.
Freddie, is Kevin as big a sweetheart as he comes off to the general public, or is it all just a facade?
Freddie,
Freddie.
Talk about this.
No, Kevin is amazing. He's done all this. He's a pro, and so he just makes sure everyone's all right, and he's looked after us, and he's really, it's been awesome working with Kevin. He's a real champ.
He's like, Kevin, make sure you cast me in your next project as well.
Yeah. Remember I said this, Kevin.
Please he's got to take me with him. That's all. I'm setting myself up.
Kevin, as a Long Island kid, and I've seen some great pictures of you with Mets. How cool is it to see Steve Cohen taking over the Mets and all the great stuff that seems to be happening with that franchise as a fan?
Well, we needed it for years. You know that. We were never, even when we were spending money, we were making the worst. I think we still pay, Bobby Bonilla $1 million a year. Is it right? That, it was some of the worst decisions. You were like, what? And just everything just didn't seem to me, So it's like, it's not just money. It's the right decisions. It's the ability to go for things and make the right moves. And it feels like Steve Cohen's going to be doing that. And, it gives me hope. But I'm always, as a Met fan, you're afraid to go, we're going to come out 9-0 and then, topple again. But whatever, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. And I'm never going anywhere, so it doesn't matter anyway. I need something.
How crazy is it? Because we've seen some really bad pitches from celebrities. You actually did a pretty good job, but walk me through that experience when you're out there and you've got to throw that pitch.
Well, this is the thing. Most people don't realize how high the mound is, so you don't want to throw it into the dirt, but you're coming down so much because of it. You're coming forward. I knew all this. I'm an athlete. I grew, so it's like, I can't tank it. And I remember Letterman saying, you didn't throw it into the dirt. And he knew I did. And I did. I got out there, and I'm not kidding when I said this. I'm afraid. First of all, the crowd going crazy it throws you enough right there. You can feel your pulse on your fingers and the ball, don't squeeze too tight. But then I looked behind the plate, and they have all people with, photographers are there and camera, and there was literally like a lady with a walker, and I didn't want to throw. I go, don't hit the lady, please don't hit the lady, whatever you do. But I also didn't want to lob it in there. How people do the lob, like they just go, let me get out of here. I'm just going to skip it to you. I'm like, throw hard. And then last minute, I'm like, go sidearm. And I'm like, sidearm? That's the stupidest. You're going to kill somebody if you go sidearm. But at least sidearm, I won't skip it. And I don't know. I did skip it. I skipped it, but you just try to overcome it with energy and look like a fool.
I don't think I saw that one. Arthur, did it like dribble at the mound, or was it actually make it into the catcher's mitt?
Which one? Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one skip. He made it. He picked it up.
Okay.
It's
one skipper.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Kevin James will not be Nolan Ryan in a movie casting anytime soon.
No. Maybe Rex Ryan.
All right, guys, before we let you go, we want to ask you, what was your most fun experience, both from you, Freddie, and Kevin, filming this show?
I had we shot the third episode first, and we had just this fun. I don't want to give spoilers, but we shoot a commercial in the episode, and I just had a lot of fun. It was the first time being in front of a live audience, and it was a lot of fun, and just seeing like Kevin just whipping out just different zingers constantly, and just having to try to keep up with him. Like yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool first episode experience.
It is, and I have this, it's the same thing I had with Jerry Stiller that I have with like Freddie and Dan Adut and Gary, and it's like I can't look at these guys once I start breaking, because they're ridiculously funny. They play their character like it's insanely well. Their timing is there. And when he's playing this fool, this driver that's not the brightest in the world, and he's looking at me, and I'm trying to get him to do the commercial right, and he just looks at me with these dead eyes. I'm telling you, I can't. It floors me. So it's that, and the physicality of you. Like Freddie is amazing at the physical comedy too, because getting into the car that time. Remember when you had to jump in the car in that freezing and bang?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be smooth and this and that, and he makes it look unbelievably difficult. And it's a talented cast. That's the thing. It's like these guys are just amazing, and it's what makes it fun for me. So I'm just hoping everybody gets to see it.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Freddie.
gentlemen.
Thanks,
Congrats on the show.